Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Week 17 AFC South review. This was overdue, but I was busy live streaming Washington football team and Philadelphia Eagles. So both the Tennessee Titans and Indianapolis Colts made the playoffs, but the Tennessee Titans, they won the AFC South. What a way to end it all. Let's start off with the Tennessee Titans since they won the AFC South. They defeated Houston Texans 41-38. Titans were in complete control the whole game until the Texans came bouncing back. And it was painful. The Titans defense, they acted like their old selves in the second half. This is a total disaster. How are they supposed to go into the playoffs like this? I mean, seriously. Anyways, Ryan Tannehill had 216 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. But our King Henry made 250 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Oh, man. The game would have went into overtime if Ryan Tannehill hadn't thrown the ball to A.J. Brown for 52 receiving yards. Unbelievable. I cannot believe that play actually happened. I cannot believe this play actually happened. And of course, the game-winning field goal was done by not by Gostkowski, but by Sam Sloman. Sam Sloman won the game for us. I cannot believe it. If Sam Sloman ends up becoming the Titans kicker next year, man, I'd be okay with it. If they can't keep Gostkowski, I can't blame. I won't blame him. Because if Sam Sloman becomes the kicker, I think we might have a future. On special teams with Sam Sloman. Of course, it's just one game, but still, the fact remains is that he won the game-winning. The fact is that he made the game-winning field goal in that game. Now, at the beginning of the first half, Deshaun Watson got intercepted by Amari Hooker. Man, who would have thought? That was the only defensive. Though there were multiple sacks in that game, but the final score remained 41-38. I'm glad Titans won, but they got to step it up for next week. I mean, seriously, it's playoffs time. As for you, Houston Texans, you got a lot to do. You got to hire a head coach. You got to hire a general manager. I think you could keep Romeo Crennel. He did do an amazing job. But the fact remains is that you got to hire a general manager. That is your number one concern at the moment. See you next year, Houston. Now let's move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars and Indianapolis Colts game. Man, oh man. I thought Jacksonville was this close to finally beating Indy, but Colts came roaring back. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe that just happened. Mike Glennon didn't get an interception this game. 2 touchdowns. Both of which was to Laviska Shenault Jr. Man. Andrew Wingard intercepted Phillip Rivers. But Jonathan Taylor was the star of this game. 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's as fast as King Henry was. Unbelievable. Anyways, the final score of that game was Colts 28, Jaguars 14. Jacksonville if Indy keeps this up, they may actually have a chance to win next week, regardless being the 7th seed. They have to continue this up. They have to bring that fire with them next week. As for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they just fired Doug Marrone right now. Now they're in the process of looking for a head coach. Right now, their number one focus is Urban Meyer. Ryan Day from Ohio State will be their plan B. But it looks like the fact remains is that Justin Fields would definitely be the number one pick in the draft if that happens. Either way, Justin Fields would be the number one pick. Because why would Ryan Day give up on Justin Fields just to get Trevor Lawrence? I mean, seriously. If Ryan Day was the head coach, they would convince him to draft Justin Fields. And then, I mean, like, seriously, Justin Fields would definitely be the number one pick in the draft unless somehow the Jaguars trade down. Now we can focus on the wild card round. Keep in mind I'm doing injury reports now that both Tennessee Titans and Indianapolis Colts made it. The wild card for the AFC South kicks off with the Indianapolis Colts at Buffalo Bills. That is the first game on Saturday, 1:05 p.m. So we might have more. So yeah. They're the Saturday game at 1:05. That game will be on CBS, and then the Tennessee Titans. They will be hosting the Baltimore Ravens in a game they cannot afford to lose. Those two teams faced off in Baltimore, and the Titans won 30-24. Now it's a grudge match. I know what you're thinking. Go Titans. Yeah, but there's a thing. Lamar Jackson hasn't played a road game yet, so we cannot judge the Ravens. We cannot judge the Ravens and assume this is going to be an easy win. Plus, the way the Titans' defense stunk last year, all year, how are we supposed to trust them to beat the Ravens? Anyway, yeah, the game is at 1:05 p.m. on Sunday on ESPN/ABC. Keep in mind, I'm doing injury reports on both games, and there is a chance I live stream both games. Anyways, see you all next week. And Jacksonville and Houston, peace out, man.